Do you think? Do you think the Leafs now, with all the links to Marchand and the Maple Leafs now,
Mhm.
there's they haven't talked and they're waiting for July 1st to start talking.
But this is my exact point, Kipper.
Right?
This is my exact point. There's tampering that goes on in this period, no matter what.
So why is Vegas any different from anyone else?
Because I think they think it's been happening for a year. I think they think it's been happening since last offseason. I think they think that Mitch has maybe had one foot out the door the entire season. That's what I think. And that's what I think they think.
But everybody has
No,
done
not
that
for a year,
over the
Kipper.
years.
Sure.
How about Chris Tanev last year linked to the Leafs for how long?
I don't know. I just think that if they're throwing this out there, they obviously have some sort of a case.
It doesn't feel to me like it's going to have a tangible impact on much of anything. Like, I feel like if this sign and trade thing is going to happen, it's going to happen. I still think it ends up being Roy or Wah. I still, I think that ends up happening.
But could Vegas be pissed off at the Leafs for thinking that they have evidence when they don't, and they're like, you know what, you don't get Nick Waugh now.
Sure. Yeah, and if they do, that's their right. That could be one outcome. It could be that this goes through and the league says we're taking a third rounder from Vegas in 2026.
Yeah.
I don't know, and even Nick Waugh, I'd like the Leafs to have him over getting nothing for Marner.
Yes.
It'd be nice. It'd be a nice addition. But the stakes don't feel that high. Nobody's getting kicked out of the league here, right?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, the league has not heard a word from anybody on this, and they don't plan on doing anything unless someone makes a formal complaint.
And that is not the way it should be.
There
though?
is a sense that the Leafs have not been aggressive to the league. I'm hearing that they're not even aggressive to Vegas
Great.
with the thought of this.
Good.
So it's just mere speculation. It could just go away like that, and the trade with Nick Waugh could still happen, or maybe could have thrown a curveball in. I to be determined right now.
Yeah, kind of running out of time. Free agency's in, what is it? Tomorrow at noon, roughly? That's, we're kind of running out of time to do anything.
I think in a perfect world, like Vegas would like an 8-year deal. There was some talk about.
I saw 4.
He's not doing 4.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, he's been through. He wants to go do this again in 4 years and find another place. And no, I think we're gonna just see. This is my best guess is that we will see if everything goes through and he gets his 8 years. I think you'll see a contract matchup just like Rantanen's.
Is that 100 mil?
12.
8 times
12 times 8. And then you factor in the taxes, and then you could say that was your 13-5 in Toronto or 14 or whatever you want to justify it. But
yeah, give Vegas credit. I got to tell you, I love Vegas. Since they've come in the league, they've mattered. They've been relevant. They've won a cup. They've been to a cup final. They've, fans like to go there and watch games. They continue to be aggressive. Players want to play there. They're not a non-factor in the NHL. They've been a really interesting franchise. Give them a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Especially when they
still a lot
tampered,
of talk
really
about Petrangelo's future there. No question he's going to go on long-term IR. I keep hearing he may need corrective hip surgery.
Yeah.
To the point where he may have to make a hard decision on, does he want to have maybe this surgery or multiple surgeries to try to hang on to his career, or does he retire?
First thing I'd like to do is formally apologize to him during the Four Nations face-off time when he took the break, and I think I was pretty hard on him, being like, who needs this guy? I mean, he's obviously really going through it here. This is potentially career-threatening.
But at the time, and I was part of it too, but at the time he was playing.
Yeah,
right?
well, that's
so
why it
it's
felt
like
like
you're
he was
impossible to know. You played, after the day he said that he had an ailment, he played 25 minutes that night.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, but now, obviously, in retrospect, it looks mean, but, at the time, it was.
I remember you two being very mean, and that was actually really nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you were great.
Yeah, I remember
you were
that
great.
too.
Okay.
So, finish off, what do you think the chances are of a Nick Waugh landing in Toronto?
50-50 right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there might be a part of, and George McPhee.
Ekblad
And,
staying in Florida
and,
from Elliott just tweeted, sorry.
McPhee and and Kelly McCrimmon, like, I don't know. I mean, they're pretty tough guys. You know, if they feel like they've been bullied a little bit here with that report, maybe they turn around and pull Nick Waugh off the table and just say, you know what, we'll maybe sign Mitch to 7 years and you guys get nothing. We'll have to wait and see.
Maybe they will.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So to go along with that, so Marner is out. And this is the one perk. Obviously, losing Mitch Marner, not a good thing for any hockey team. But what is fun now is that there's other things you can do with the money. And there's no guarantee you do it better, but it is fun looking at the roster now. Knies and Tavares signing for very similar cap hits to last season combined, which is interesting. And now you can bring in a guy like Michelli. First off, the Knies thing. Let's start with that cap hit. What do you think of that contract?
Excellent. I do believe he left some money on the table.
Oh, really?
I do, yeah. I think realistically, he could have had something north of 8 for 6 years.
Yeah.
I think he gave him a bit of a break. Maybe he gave him $250,000 a year, maybe even 400,000. But it's a contract that probably compares to others that have stepped up into that realm.
Yeah.
But with the cap going up, he could have asked for new money coming in, but he didn't. And that, again, is his choice. I think in 6 years, it'll be next to nothing.
Oh, my God. In 6 years, like it's the equivalent of a $5 million contract today.
Yeah.
You know, and this guy is 22 years old, coming up on 23. And, I saw some people comparing his contract to like what Peterka just signed in Utah. His was, similar. But Knies has that other element of also having the opportunity to be a power forward and be physical. And it's a great contract.
I will say it's really awesome that on the locker cleanout day, I forget who it was that was grinding him a bit down there, being like, hey, like, would you sign an offer sheet? Would you sign an offer sheet? And he's like, I want to be here in Toronto. I want to be here in Toronto. I love it here. I want to be in Toronto.
Yeah.
And then have it not even get to July 1st and not much, like there wasn't much, stuff in the media about it. Like, you see a couple things floated, but nothing serious that he wants this much money or whatever. And he just signs for a reasonable number for a reasonable amount of years for a guy that's like, honestly improves every game. Like every game I watch him, I feel like he gets better. It's a really refreshing change of pace than the usual fist fight for every contract that they have in this market. So it's nice. I'm really impressed that he signed that contract. Really.
Yeah. No, that's great. And then now.
Can he get as early as next year to a point-a-game player?
I don't think it's out of the question. I would say he comes in under, but like if he comes in with 70 points in 80 games and, throws 100 and some hits, fights twice or something,